When people hear the word anarchy, thoughts of riots, violence, and catastrophe quickly come to mind. But when I hear the word anarchy, I envision the opposite. I imagine a utopian heaven on earth without the shackles of government control. Anarchy is true democracy. It empowers the individual to govern himself. Capitalists say anarchy won't work with confidence, as if the current system is functioning fine. We're in a constant state of control, and that, my friend, is poles apart from true anarchy. Freedom isn't a right given by man, so no man has the right to take it away. If anarchy is freedom, then government is slavery. The definition of a corporation is a legal creation authorized to act with the same rights and liabilities as a person. The government is the people. The corporate entities, being a group of people, have more rights than any single one of us. The individual is given the back seat to these corporations. They silence the minority. The government owns everything. People will say this is socialism. I say no. When private-public ownership enters the market, comrade, that's called capitalism. The top 10% gets everything and the rest gets what's left. The divide between the rich and poor continues to grow. Corporations own the roads, the banks, and the media. They own everything down to the schools. But the most frightening aspect of this government control is they are literally profiting off of slavery. In the 1980s, the corporations started buying and privatizing the American prison system. The government oligarchy puts fine people guilty of victimless crimes in prison just to gain profit. We have less than 5% of the world's population, yet over 25% of the world's incarcerations are here in America. America has more people in prison than any other country in the Western world, but yet we have more violence. The reason I believe there is more violence is because we are forced to conform to this backward system, and people go crazy trying to make sense of the absurdness of it all. The corporations own the money, the feds loan it off with interest. Then they have to print more for us to pay that interest, and more to pay that interest, and so on. It's a giant pyramid scheme. The money is printed with debt attached to it. The debt is economic slavery and one of the many forms of control. The money stops us from living happy lives. We are constantly reaching for this unreachable thing that isn't even real. If you are lucky enough to make it to be 60, you would have only lived 20,000 days. Some people spend more dollars in a day than days are alive. There's more molecules in your brain than stars in the sky. We are no different than the whores selling our freedom at the price of dehumanization. The philosopher and the artist will never fully appreciate the significance of their work, as long as it is being compared to materialistic value. These words are not manifested out of anger or bitterness towards our oppressors, but from the empathy I feel towards my fellow person. People say I'm naive for believing world peace is possible. Some will even call me crazy or delusional, but I go as far as to say peace could be achieved through anarchy. Without those chains of government power, the person can choose peace for himself. Most will say world peace and anarchy working functionally is unattainable. But keep in mind, Hitler wasn't born Hitler, and Gandhi wasn't born Gandhi. They chose to be the people they were. If everybody chose love instead of fear and ignorance, I know world peace would be inevitable.